Hi and welcome to a CEDH card review for Aragorn the Uniter, and something of a, not really a deck tech, but more like a deck tutorial, like a how to build Aragorn the Uniter tutorial of sorts. He is a blue, white, green and red, basically 4 colors, everything about black, 5/5 human noble legendary creature. Whenever you cast a white spell, create a 1/1 white human solar creature token. Whenever you cast a blue spell, scry 2. Whenever you cast a red spell, Aragorn Uniter deals 3 damage to target opponent. Whenever you cast a green spell, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. And the reason he is somewhat CEDH viable is because he is a food chain option. Because if you have food chain in play and you have Squee the Immortal in your graveyard, in your hand, or in exile, you can cast him infinitely with food chain, triggering Aragorn the Uniter's red ability infinitely, dealing infinite damage to your opponents and winning the game that way. We can't really do anything with Aragorn ETBing forever, but we can win with Squee the Immortal. However, this means that we can't win with Eternal Scourge, that is a colorless creature. It won't trigger Aragorn at all. However, Misthallow Griffin will actually work because you're casting a blue spell, so you can scry infinitely, basically vamp tutoring any card you want to the top of your library, and then just draw a card somehow. You need to have a card draw effect from this, and then boom, you have your Squee in your hand, and then boom, you can win with Squee and food chain the same way. So Misthallow Griffin works, but you have to have a card draw effect for it to actually work too. We actually already have a food chain commander option in the exact same colors, Omnath Lucas of Creation. It just becomes a big question of which one you prefer the more. And as Omnath can actually use Eternal Scourge, we might have a winner. Aragorn doesn't actually draw any cards. Well, Omnath only draws a card on ETB, so it's not like a huge card draw, but Aragorn will scry 2 whenever you cast a blue spell, and that is useful. He will also create a 1/1 whenever you cast a white spell, and well, you can skull clamp those. But Aragorn also have other combo options like Dockside and Temur Sabertooth. This will create infinite damage to your opponent. You don't need to go infinite mana, you just need to create 4 treasures in this case, and you will win the game by infinite damage. You're not gonna create infinite treasures, but you're still gonna win the game. And if we wanna be really creative, we can do things with, for example, Aluren and Grinding Ignus. Now, Grinding Ignus is something of an example. I'm sure there are other better examples out there, but you cast Grinding Ignus for free, triggering Aragorn, and then you use 1 red mana to return it back to your hand, and then you cast it again for free and use the red mana that you generated from the Grinding Ignus to return it back to your hand again. In this, you're generating infinite colorless mana and infinite Aragorn cast red spell infinite damage. And we have access to both the Imperial Recruiter and Recruiter of the Guard to actually find the Grinding Ignus from the Aluren. And we could also do something like Grinding Ignus with Birgi. So you cast Grinding Ignus, you generate a red mana from Birgi, you pay 1 red mana that you generated from Birgi to return the Grinding Ignus, and use the mana from Grinding Ignus that the Grinding Ignus created to recast it, generating a mana from Birgi, and here you go, infinite damage. You don't generate infinite mana, but you do generate infinite damage if you have your Aragorn in play. If you have a scepter and connected with dramatic reversal, you can generate infinite mana, but also infinite blue cast effects, which means that you can scry your entire deck, similar to how you won the game with Food Chain in Misthallow Griffin. Just find whatever card you want to have on top of your library, and boom, you need to have a card draw spell in your hand, draw that card, and win the game. Remember that you have already achieved infinite mana with Icicron Scepter and Dramatic Reversal, so from this point, you should be able to win if you have that card draw effect. So Aragorn actually has like a lot of combos that he can go for in various cases. But none of the combos are like straightforward amazing. The best one in my opinion is Temur Sabertooth and Dockside Extortionist, because that is the one that is most straightforward and doesn't include like dead cards. Like, we want to have cards inside this deck that are good individually on their own, and these 2 cards are actually good on their own. Like Dockside is amazing and Temur Sabertooth is fine. Like, you can retake your Spellseeker, your Eternal Witness and other cool effects back to your hand, and you can regain more value with Aragorn in various cases. So he has some form of combo potential, they're just not like epic, but they're fine. The only really good ability on him is the blue one, where Scry 2. That is not a card draw effect, that is just a Scry 2. Now Scry 2 isn't bad, but it's not great either. He's also a little bit tricky to actually get into play. For example, you can't Jeweled Lotus him into play, so to say. Or well, you can, but like Jeweled Lotus just pays for one of his pips. Or well, if he has commander tax, then Jeweled Lotus helps out. But in the end, it's not a card that's gonna like burst your commander into play, like it normally does with other commanders. So as a finalized review for this guy, I don't think he's that amazing. Creating tokens is cute. If you have Skull Clamp, that's great. Dealing free damage to an opponent if you don't go infinite is cute. It's not great. It's good versus odd NOS decks, but that's kinda it. People just have too much life totals for that to actually matter usually. Giving a creature's +4/+4 is also cute. If you're slamming this commander into play really fast in the game, you're not gaining a huge burst of value immediately. Like you pay 4 mana for something that is gonna scry 2 a little bit now and then. And that just isn't impactful enough. The way CEDH is today is pedal to the metal. Playing really proactive and doing some very impactful things early in the game. And getting Aragorn into play requires that you spend a lot of mana for him, but then it requires that you're doing a lot of other stuff afterwards as well. In other words, he's basically defeated by power creep. That's my short review for him. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you in the next video.